Tom, do it. Next, take him off. He's the man. No, he's the man who's done the questionnaires. Is that you, Tom? Yes. Yeah, he's quite happy. We're not being mean, are we, Tom?
No. If anyone hasn't got a question.
Bev Evans.
Whoa.
Bev, can you do this in 1 minute?
I can. I'll try. I was just flipping it a little bit.
Here she comes. Yeah.
Evening. My name's Bev Evans. You can find me on Twitter under various guises. Generally at Tess_SEN or at Bev Evans 22. I also have a couple of ninja accounts that only Dougal and a few other people know about. We don't need to talk about those. I'm not really ninja. Yeah, Powers of the PowerPoint. I'm going to talk about PowerPoint. The reason I'm going to talk about PowerPoint is all because of Mary. Because we were having a phone conversation the other day and we would decide, I couldn't think of what to talk about. She was saying, oh well, if people were thinking about me on Twitter, I think they think of me as the person who talks about apps and EVD. And I said, well, what would I be? She said, well, you'd be the person that talks about SEN and PowerPoint. So, I'm going to go through these as
Time's up.
quickly as I can. Oh, how do I... Just use the cursor. It's thinking. Still running. Lost my device. Oh well. I was going to talk about PowerPoint. I'm not going to say a lot more because I know you've got lots of people who want to speak and I don't need microphone because I'm very loud. Basically, I think PowerPoint is a bad rep in school and you can use it for lots of different things. You can use it for art, you can use it for shape work in maths, you can use it for graphs, you can use it for stop motion animation, one of my favourites. You can show children how to use motion paths properly and make activities with triggers and all sorts of amazing things. And it doesn't have to be boring at all, and it doesn't have to be bullet points on a slide. It can be all sorts of different things. And if you go to my blog, which I don't like to keep anymore, but there's a doyen of all things PowerPoint. It's called Techno Stories, Bev's Adventures in ICT, and it has hundreds and hundreds of ideas for using PowerPoint in a creative way. And you get lots of ideas from there, and that's it.
It's true, she is an absolute legend. She's a queen of PowerPoint and technical graphics and all the rest of it. What a shame you haven't had a chance to share.
That's all right.
The blog is fantastic. Next up, David. We'll come back to Bev if we can.
Yeah.
Mary, come on.
Is the iPad thing still there or not?
Yes, we can unmute.
Hi there, my name's Mary Farmer and I teach at a school for children with severe social, emotional and behavioral problems. The school is a primary school for children age 4, shockingly, to 11. And they are they are the most challenging children in West London and as far away as Dorking, because we have 3 children now being taxied in every morning from Dorking. We are lucky enough to have 6 iPads in the class, and I was class-based last year. I've come out of class and I'm now teaching across the whole school. Normally I talk about literacy now, but I'm just quickly going to do a real flying visit, tell me when to stop, of apps that we have used in our school. So these are favorite apps that we've used. Always have used them for reading. We got our kids reading because it was cool. If we put it on, at the beginning it was on an iPod, gave it to them on an iPad, they would read. So that was like one of the first things that we used it for. a math app. I don't know if anyone's seen Mystery Maths. I was going to show you, happy to show you at some point. Really, really cool. Proper gameplay of it. You've got different towns that you have to, different houses you go to. And first thing you do is you make an avatar in that. What's really cool is I've got 26 different, I thought, well, there must be, you can only make so many so many users. But it seems like you can make as many users as you can fit. So I now unfortunately have user 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in my iPad. And you can't delete them, that's the problem. But anyway, you can, they edit their name, they can change the character and all of that. And the best part is that they can choose the skills. What you can do is you can have them working on, depending on what their level is, you can either have them doing just addition, or you can have them doing absolutely everything sort of thing. And it makes it exceptionally easy to differentiate using it. Particularly what's good about it is normally most apps will give you 5 plus 3 equals, and you have to come up with the answer. Or 5 times 9 equals. What this does, trying not to fall over, is you go around collecting all these numbers, and then you have to decide which are the right numbers to use. Sometimes you have a sum where you have an answer where you haven't found the right numbers yet. So they have to search around for it. So it's really encouraging. Sorry, I'm talking so fast. My brain is overflowing my brain. Sometimes they don't have the numbers, so they have to go and search for it. And if you keep it at the beginning to sort of get them used to it and not be sort of terribly frustrated of keeping it just going back to only working with, say, addition 0 to 10, it teaches them those sort of problem-solving skills first, and then very, very quickly they can move on to the other bits. So you've done all of that, and the super, oh, no, damn it! Sorry, sorry. You're not filming, are you? Sorry, that's like crazy. Sorry, really sorry, I have to remember where I am. I apologize, I will sit and say sorry. Right. I've lost my bit. Oh, there we go. The portraits, when you touch them, they talk. They do things like, stop poking me. You're poking me. I told you to stop poking me. You think math is hard. Well, let me tell you. And for EBD kids, this is very, very great. It gets them. I've got kids begging to do maths, which is like totally unheard of. How much time? Keep going. And what's also good is that they go through the town. So you've got these fireflies that you're supposed to capture in that. And then you get to the next house. But then you can go back to another house to get these coins. So it means that, it extends the gameplay of it. This game, I sat up until about 11 o'clock at night trying to figure out, well, what happens when you get to the end of it. And I did it on easy because it's slightly too complicated for me to quickly get through to the end. You don't get all the portraits if you cheat like that, just to let you know. So that was it. Dyslexia.
Pulling you off now, come on.
Okay, really, really good. This is a great app for dyslexia. Lots of kids have these problems, and I have a little boy who's been using it. We only do it for about 3 minutes every day, and now when somebody sends a letter to him, he will say, oh, that's a brown letter, or that's it. So he's remembering the color and where it is. So,
What's it called?
What's it called?
What's it called?
oh, it's called, sorry, that would have been helpful, wouldn't it? It's called
Letter reflex.
Letter Reflex. Who said that? Yeah.
Thank you.
Letter Reflex.
Thank you, Mary.
By a company called Binary.
We have 4 minutes
Binary
left.
Labs.
Pete,
Sorry.
Pete's up. David's going to say something about Pete whilst he gets him up.
Pete's a hero of mine.
Yes.
He was blogging when I was in shorts. Well, not really, but
2005.
2005.
Sorry, David. 2005 is a fabulous year because our school started blogging, which is that one there. That was 2005. And the other reason why it was a fabulous year is Liverpool won the 5th of the 5 Champions League trophies. So that's the reason.
Well, I'll leave it to it.
And I remembered that because I knew you were coming. This is our school blog, and we do lots of things to do with ICT, and lots of the things we do sort of stem from blogging. And to go back to lots of things, I think Julie was saying about blogging and an audience for children. We did that, and then we came across Google Apps. And at the time, everybody in Year 4, or most of the children in Year 4, they had a letter that went on to the parents saying, can they have their own blogs? And we set up blogs for everybody in Year 4 who wanted them, and they blogged away to their heart's content. They used widgets, and it was almost like widget wars going on for who had the most fantastic glitzy widgets going on in their blogs. And it was great, it was fabulous. And then we came across Google Apps, and Google Apps kind of like took over a little bit from blogging at the time, because the thing that the children found particularly great about Google Apps was the ability to share work at the same time at home and in school. And that's what they did, and they had some great fun with it, and they produced some great work and all that kind of stuff. And we've been using them since, that was about 3 years ago. Well, last week we came across this fabulous little tool which made doing our homework this year much better, because I'd sort of moved away from giving out paperwork sheets for homework and checking it off and doing all that kind of stuff. And it stuff, sorry, you know these list of banned words? Banned words, stuff is one of my words which is used endlessly. So we stopped using paper, giving it out, and instead I set up, starting from about 4 or 5 weeks ago, using Google Forms to set up the homework, and they answer the homework on the questions, and they apply and put the name in. So I had an instant email saying, I've done my homework, this is my name, these are my answers, which was great, it was fine. And then last week, I think it was, Sharice, or the week before, last week it was, all of a sudden, from somewhere, you found out that you could put images into Google Forms. And then I went a bit sort of Saturday, this was Saturday morning kind of thing, I went a bit sort of Google for pictures, images and pictures, a bit crazy, because I used pictures of numeracy, grids and things to try this, try out. And also for doing World War II at the moment, an evacuee, so we had an evacuee in our class, and we've been to the apple shop, and been down the road, went to Shropshire, all that kind of stuff. So we did that. So to do it, all you need is a Google account. Go to your Google account, start a form, so you give it a title, give it choose a kind of question, text questions, and then when you've gone to that, all you do then is go to the add item, and if you click on the add item, you get all these fabulous choices. Now, I don't know when images turned up. I think it was last week or the week before last, but it was certainly very recently. And all you need to do now is click on image, and you can have it. Oh, sorry, that was the image. That was just a reminder of 5 European Cups, that's all kind of thing. Because Manchester United have only got 3, you see, that's all. And so you can put images into Google Forms, and it's great. And the children, it just helps them to visualize things that otherwise would just be a written line of text. And it adds a bit of imagination, a bit of creativity. And my next step for them is for them to do that themselves, which I'm sure they're quite capable of going. But if you do go to www.graphcreativeblogs.net, there's a really good questionnaire that you can fill in, and as soon as you fill it in, I get an email to say you filled it in, and it's really good questions that you can click on there. Is that too much?
We keep going till we get kicked out.
Yeah.
I just need to sign out to their video afterwards, otherwise.
No, we're going to hack you.
Creativeblogs.what?
Creativeblogs.net. Net.
Oh, it is, isn't it?
It's quite rapidly.
Carol! Why is that? I had it open. Have you closed it down?
No.
It's all right. I'm going to.
I'll find it.
I came down here from Newcastle because I'm here tomorrow for something else, and I'm late. I thought you were starting at 4. That's what it said on the thing. So I'm like driving like a mad woman. But I had somebody on Twitter last night, a mum near Durham, asked me to call in and to see her about her son. And so I stopped and I met this lady, and I ended up being even later. Because her son's in year 6, and she's just had the letter that says that he has to go to a catch-up 2 weeks during the summer, catch-up stroke transition, because his literacy skills aren't good enough. really to go straight into high school. And she's really upset about this, really, really upset about this, because for the whole of primary school, she's been concerned that he's been behind. And she's kept voicing it, and she's been told, it's all right, we're doing this, it's all right, he's in this intervention group, or it's all right, and blah, blah, blah. And she said to me, and now, 2 weeks of his holiday, which is so precious to him, whatever you call it, it's about that he can't do it well enough. And I'm upset, and he's upset, what do I do? So I called down and had a cup of tea. So, what I want to just comment is I'm going to show you a little bit of a video, but what I want you to think about are what I call the grey children. Have a quick look at this. This is not a grey child, okay?
This might not work because we're on a
Right.
slow thingy.
Well, we'll only see a bit of it if we can. And that'll be all. I'll talk over the beginning so you get the idea. Look very carefully at the man you're about to see. He has quite a rare syndrome, and he works grapple. Oh, sorry, that was just product placement, but he does. And he's a gamer, and technology. Even if you can just move it so we can meet Mike, would be great. You kind of move it towards the end, and I'll keep talking. Mike has a very, very rare condition. He has a condition that I've actually met 2 other children with. But I met them, and I know this is difficult for you because I look so young, but I met them very early on in my career, and we had zilch. We had, in the classroom, I had a tape recorder. That was it. And then I see Mike, who now, if we were able to show a bit of this, but you can Google it and see it for
One
yourself.
thumb to rule them all.
Right, Mike uses a proximity switch to communicate. Proximity switch means he hasn't even got the ability to touch a switch to make the computer happen. He has to move his finger close to the switch to make action. Using that, he can control the internet, he can write, he can blog, he designs games, he comments on games, he speaks through it, he instant messages, he YouTubes, he's a phenomenal guy. He also is using technology to keep himself alive, because without technology, Mike would not be alive. He needs a ventilator constantly, which is why he has no speech. Mike is not a grey child. He's not a grey person. We have children with extreme circumstances, and actually in this country, because I also work in Albania and I work in some other countries around the world, where grey children are just put quietly to one side because they have neither the technology nor the funding to help them to live. In our country, we deal with these children really quite well. You can get somebody like me out. I've got a girl in my authority who communicates and messages and is doing a digital media course using her big toe. That is the only useful function she has. I can come and set up that kind of system for you guys. I can set up eye gaze in under a minute, and you can control a computer with your eyes. But that one I saw tonight is one of the grey children. Mike's in the corner here. Here he is. He's kept alive, he's ventilated. He's looking at the screen up there, and his thumb, which is one thumb to rule them all, is working the proximity switch. We can do this for Mike. He's got an active brain, he's cleverer than I am. My question to you is, what are you doing about the grey children? The kids who are carers, and they haven't told you they're carers, and they come in tired and they get into trouble because they're acting out because being in school is a safe place. What do you do about the child who's just got a slight literacy problem, or so it might seem to you, but it might be a huge thing to them, so they don't want to read out loud, they don't want to blog unless they're in a group, they don't want to participate, they hold back. What are you doing about the children who just don't get something? I didn't get long division when I'm quite a clever bugger. But at long division, I can remember doing that at school. And I didn't get long division, and from being top of the class, I sat there sweating. I was terrified to go to school the next day because I didn't understand this long division thing. And then, God bless her, my teacher came and said, don't do it this way, try it this way, Carol, and it worked the other way for me. So my question to you is, if we can do all this for the extreme cases, and we can, make no bones about it, was one of the children who just, for whatever reason, finds something just that little bit difficult. Are you going the extra mile for them? Or are you letting it go to year 7 and making that kid give up 2 weeks of their holiday?
Gary? I've just gone to you, Gary, because you've one name that still haven't come out of the thing yet. Are you okay to do? Yeah. Oh, wait, we'll go, sorry, full screen.
Okay, so I'm a bit like David. I'm like my first teacher meeting. I'm that nervous. I've got no secret shuffle. My name's Gary. I'm from Myden Primary School at Little Lever in Bolton. My idea is very, like all good ideas, very simple, I suppose. And like most of good ideas, I'm not boasting, it's stolen. So you may have come across this already. So the pink, just go on, is, once you're ready, to make you think. And I'll just waffle over this a bit quickly. So basically, Myden, a couple of years ago, we were in an Ofsted frenzy and we were thinking, oh, right, we've got to get things back to basics. And the thing that I looked at with my school was marking, and we wanted to make that nice and simple. So we were thinking about our marking, and then we thought, pink and green, that might help. I stole that idea from other schools. Anyone heard of pink and green for marking? Yeah. Hopefully there's a few new people I want to catch. So green is for go. Yeah? Pink to make you think, green for go. It's as simple as that. It's revolutionised our work. So, and it's simply these highlighters that are now running low in all of our classes. But green is to highlight things that are good, pink is to highlight things you need to improve in it, and it's simple as that. And the impact has been phenomenal. So we've kind of realigned our principles of our policy, but the one key thing is that I could meet with my the children from our school and speak to them, and they're very clear about the fact that green means that that's the bits of my work that are good, and the pink are the bits of the work that I need to improve. And that one kind of key factor that our marking now does has had an immense impact. That's pretty much it.
Fantastic.
Very briefly, just to make you smile, I suppose we can tie back to the presentations and things like that. I had to do it for my MLDP, and the MLDP said, right, you can present in any way you want. I said, okay, any way you want. So expressive dance is fine. And they said expressive dance is fine. I'm not going to do expressive dance, but there is an expressive dance video in that presentation. Yeah, so it's a bit of Kate Bush and highlights. You're welcome to go and have a look at that.
Where can they find?
I'll put it in the wiki.
Okay.
I'll embed it in the wiki.
Yeah, well done, Gary.
We've, I think, got through everybody who put their name down to do a presentation, I think. And I think we're also at the point at which we're over time. We weren't aware that we had to finish at 7. Nevertheless, how good was that? Yeah. Something pretty good about Teach Me is there. If you were a Teach Me new person today, some of you, don't make it the last one you go to. And if you don't see one coming up near you in the near future, put one on yourself, like Andy, or go to Andy's. And actually there's a little kind of unspoken Teach Me rule about your second Teach Me. Your second Teach Me is when you present. Now some teachers are the kind of person that thinks, oh, nothing I do is worth sharing. Oh, I'm not good enough. Oh, that idea, it's not a good idea. Everyone else will already know about that. No, they don't. Not everyone. What you do is really good. It makes a difference every day. Tell some people about it. And if you don't tell them about it at a Teach Me, tell them about it on Twitter and stuff like that. It's been absolutely brilliant. I've been utterly moved again, and I've done loads of these. It's been superb. Thank you to Charisse and David. Thank you to the Reebok Arena. Thank you to Nathan Live. Thank you to Rising Stars. Ian Mills over there very quietly has recorded the whole thing onto one of those kind of tape things, and we'll do something magical to make it available via the interweb. Interestingly, there's a chap here who's doing some research into the impact of these kinds of events. It's Tom. He withdrew from the speaker schedule because he said he'd kind of chat everyone up in the round, which I think he's done. I filled in his questionnaire. It's for no other reason than, research is a good thing. And if you could, take the time to fill in the questionnaire and let Tom have that at the end, that would be great. After this, in fact, I don't know, we're kind of heading over to the Spice Valley restaurant, which is in Horwich, is it?
5 minutes away.
Yeah, up to the big roundabout where the big pub is and left, and then right, you'll find it. Your phone thing will do it anyway. Spice Valley restaurant, where we're going to have a bit of a curry and chat about other stuff and be friendly and lovely and all the rest of it. It's been a real pleasure meeting some of you. If you want to come along to the restaurant, I'll meet some more of you and you'll meet some other people. It's been brilliant. Do you want to say anything, David?
Thank you.